Welcome to the York Shop. My name is Rod. So in this episode I'm going to complete the rudder assembly with the tiller and the extension arm. So I have made all the pieces, I have varnished them all, and then we're going to put them all together and attach the hardware to the stern of the boat. So let's get to it. First we're going to start off with cutting the mortises and drilling some holes in the tiller itself and the extension arm, and making sure they all fit, and then we've got to sand and varnish all those parts before final assembly. Now to fit through that little slot is a little pin. I've just traced off of the plans with carbon paper cut out, and I've cut a piece of mahogany here a little over 1/4 inch thick. We're going to shape it down so it will in fact just wedge into there. Cut enough here to make a couple in case I make a mistake. Then we're just going to go over to the tiny little bandsaw. As suspected, it's a little bit thick, but that's going to give me some leeway to sand it down so it goes in. Do that on the sander here, shape it and thin it down. I'm just wondering why my hole punched out the other side a little off center, and it looks to be that my drill press table is off by a couple of degrees. I don't know how that would have happened, in the sense that I have never undone that bolt under there, but I guess maybe dropped something on there. Now I just need to create a mortise in the rudder. Have a 3/4 inch drill bit, Forstner. Push this through. So now we just need to make those 2 round holes square. For the pivot point between the extension arm, I drilled a much bigger oversized hole so that I can drill a smaller hole through it. And the reason for that is I was concerned that, you know, that's going to be quite a wear point. Now we just gotta hope that I can get this off if I have not got enough packing tape on there. Oh, there we go. So we've got a hole filled, and I have to admit that I made kind of a mess of it. I did put some bunch of tape on the bottom of the hole to fill it, and it just leached out everywhere. It's glued the tape on. I've got a whole bunch of epoxy underneath, but I think we should be able to get that off with some heat. Not sure how much of this is actually going to stick. So the tape is coming off. It's not bad, but I got a bit of a botch job on that one. I think my resin was a bit too thin and seemed to make its way underneath the tape. Nevertheless, it's cleanable. And I've done the same thing on the end of the tiller that meets up with this. Well, it's December 17th today, 2022, nearing the end of the year, and we got a cold front moving in here, and we're getting some snow. It's pretty heavy. I've already shoveled the walkway once a couple hours ago, and we're already accumulating 2 or 3 centimeters already. Somebody loves the snow though, but it's time to get to work. So this is the rudder, all varnished. And the way this is going to work is, well, if it's sitting this way, they're suggesting that the arm go out this side. Then this I don't know what you call it, teardrop shape, apostrophe shape piece is a wedge that goes into there to hold it in place. Then in the end here, there's a hole that was filled that I've drilled through it, and then the tiller arm goes onto that. So on the end of the tiller extension, I've drilled that hole, which I have now drilled a smaller hole through the thickened epoxy, and to which the tiller arm will get attached. And I think here we'll use maybe a threaded rod and some acorn nuts. Same thing I'll probably use that I'll be using to attach the hardware to the stem. So now that it's all varnished, I think it's time for us to go and put this whole thing onto the stern of the boat. The bronze hardware for the rudder assembly does not come pre-drilled, so we're just going to drill some holes through here. It's, I don't know, let's go to 6 inches. We'll put one at the center, and then maybe we'll put one, what, can we go, yeah, 2.5 inches either side of center. Right, now we're going to put a 3/16 threaded rod through with acorn nuts on either side. Therefore, we're going to drill a hole 1/64 above 3/16. That'll allow for a little bit of play just in case. And I've got a piece of wood inside because as I push down, that's going to bend. Can even probably get another little piece in there. Have here So 3/16. So I've got a couple of these 6-inch 3/16 1024 bolts that somehow came not fully threaded, and they're supposed to be. I mean, I could use that, but rather than going buying rod, I'm just going to cut this off and use that. For the lower gudgeon, we know that this is supposed to sit flush with the bottom from drawings. Just lining it up, pushing it in so it's flush with the inside edge. And then we're just going to punch some holes through. I think before I drill some others, make sure they line up, I'm going to cut my bolts to the desired length I'm going to need, which will be about there. We can always cut them shorter. Then I can place them in there, tighten them up while I drill more holes. Alright, well, I don't exactly have any acorn bronze nuts right now, but I do have some 1024 brass that are nylocks, so they're one on either side there, just holding her together, making sure that this is pushed in right tight. Get our second hole in. For the second pintle, we need to put the rod in place. That's it right there. Alright, well, there's no real need to tighten all this up right now. I'm going to get the acorn nuts. So the idea is the rudder can slide up, come to that notch, and come off. Now for the brackets that are going to get attached to the stem, I think one hole per side. Good number 10 screw. Question will be is what length, and should we offset these slightly so that if I put a screw through here and through there, they're not going to hit each other. Looking at the position, if I put a number 10 by 1, we're going to go into there quite well. If I go the center and the center, so we're going to need to offset slightly on either side. Drill where the holes are going to get drilled and countersunk. Well, plans are actually showing 2 holes in the pintles. So I don't think number 10 is going to be the way to go. I think we're going to have to go a little smaller and go number 8s and put 2 per side. And even with the number 8, 1 inch, that's going to be fine to go up and through there. Maybe that's even a bit long. So I think on the lower portion here, I'm going to have to go with a 1/2. Now we just need to sort out where exactly this is going to sit. Now, according to the drawings, by my best guess, this bottom of this hole is sort of right up at shear. So that does not look high enough. If I put the extension arm out here, I think we're going to hit gunnels in here. Might be what we need to do, is attach the extension arm. Now, I have drilled these holes in here, and they're not going to hit anything, so I do believe that I am going to need to mortise out here. So that the gudgeon bracket will come up closer and flusher to the inside edge without without this metal bracket hitting stem band inside. Seems to me only one hole would have been necessary because I don't think these brackets are long enough now. Maybe I could have put one hole there and one hole there, but we're beyond that now, other than having a welder fill those holes in. Which stem in the drawings is flush square face, and the inside edge of the bracket here is round. We can't go in too much because that pivot point there will end up hitting stem band. Now, of course, I suppose I could take a section of the stem band out. Don't want to do that either. I believe I have the whole thing set up in the right place. So this fits onto the notch, slides down. Come on. There, and we've got pretty good swing. I'm going to need to take off the sides here so we can get a little bit more pivot on there. But the next thing is that this we're going to need to get that in further. Not really sure where this goes, but you can lift the rudder up to take it above sort of water line, I suppose. And then it'll rest on there. Now that I've sorted out the play and the travel on the rudder along the rod, I'm just adding the upper pintle, which holds the rudder up as one is coming into shore, in shallower water. So I'm pre-drilling all the holes, setting all the screws. I'll take them out and put some bedding compound. And there you have it. So now we're going to take it all apart for the most part, and I'm going to seal up all of the bare wood that I've chiseled out for the mortises, and then tomorrow we can bed them all in. And with that, I've got all the hardware attached for the rudder assembly, and so we can move on to the last little bits, which will be setting up the sailing rig. Or maybe you will consider becoming a subscriber yourself, or at least give me a thumbs up as a like. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.